guys, it's Jared with today's trade recap. Today was a very frustrating day for me. I'm going to go with about 120% of my max loss target. So I overshot a little bit there, and really what the story of my day was, I didn't like my watch list. So all my stocks are just doing this today. So you see that's TLRY, you see PLTR, look, I don't even have to draw a new line. PXRT, kind of the same thing, I just have to zoom in on a smaller scale. AMC, now, yeah, don't stocks do that? Of course they do that, but ideally, I would like to see something more like up, pull back, up, pull back, up, and then reversal, pull back. Something more with more direction. You know, I'm not very good at trading stocks that are just staying like this. You know, too much of my the way I take positions is for a breakout. So when that doesn't happen, I just kind of get chopped up. Now I started my day in a very frustrating situation. So TLRY, the price action was jumpy to say the least, but I was very patient the first 5 minutes. Formed this really nice ascending triangle there above all of these moving averages. So really nice setup, volumes ticking in on the long side. I get in here, right here, take it long. I really like it, but the price action's jumping around so much. I took a partial here really just because I was trying to take some risk off the table. Now I did put a little profit in my pocket, which is great, but that play was purely me trying to take a little risk off. And then it shook me out right before it went up $1. So I mean, I had a great entry for what would have been a 90-cent move for me if I would have stayed in, and because of the price action I just couldn't hold on, and I got shaken out right there, right before, and that was pretty sad. That was tough to watch there. And then you can see for the rest of the day, just kind of like not really going anywhere. So that was tough. That was a loss, or excuse me, that was a small gain that could have, you know, I really should have been one and done today, but I wasn't, and I was pretty patient with my trades, but you know, just didn't have a good watch list. Didn't really like what I saw. AMC, I took a stab at a long position here after it kind of dead ended. I thought, all right, well maybe we'll short squeeze up and you know, get up here, get 20-30 cents, and then we'll see what happens. You know, I thought this is kind of a pivot point of sorts, so I thought, and it happened to be the 50 MA, so I thought, well, I'll take it long here above all these moving averages, and as long as it holds, we'll go up here. But it just kind of bounced around too much, and it wasn't really going anywhere, so stopped out of that one for a loss. Then I went to PLTR. And this was a small win for me. I took it long here. Yeah, I took it long here. The volume was starting to uptick. Ideally, would have had greater volume on the uptick, but it pulled when it was up here. I thought if it pulls back on lesser volume, I'm going to try and get in right here, which is what I did. And I held through here because 32.50 was still holding. If it broke 32.50, I was going to get out. So I held through this continued pullback, and then I was able to get one partial and then out at break even here. So small winner, but really, you know, on this pullback is a little too high a bearish volume. You know, I'd prefer to see this about the size of this one, and when the volume came back in at this level right here, I was starting to get nervous that this really wasn't going to happen, and it didn't happen. And then later I took PLTR short right here. We had all this uptick in volume on the way down. We had pulled back decently and then came back down, and I got fooled by this attempt to come back down that we were actually going to break through this 32, this 200 MA right there, and get back. I was thinking, you know, we're going to break through there and we're going to test this 200 MA. That's what's going to happen, and it didn't happen. Kind of story of the day here. So everything, basically the issue with my day was everything was really range bound. I mean, if you look at SPY didn't look very nice today. You know, kind of like chopping around here. So everything was range bound, and my style of trading, just it's very hard for me for my style of trading to succeed in range bound situations. Now if you had the right watch list, you know, you could have overcome that, because I'm sure there were stocks out there that were moving clean, but my watch list didn't really like anything. Honestly, the best setup of the day, which I missed, one was you know, this squeeze right here, but I'd already called it a day. Right when I went to go record this video, it was about here at 10:20, and I wanted to take it long, but you know, when you call it a day, I gotta have the discipline and stick to that. But that would have probably been the best setup of the day for how I like to trade. Also PLTR right here. Now again, it's range bound, so it's coming right back down again. So again, stuck in this range right here mostly. But right here would have been a good setup for a long, and this would have been the best setup I've seen today for how I like to trade. And it doesn't look that sexy because it came right back down, but what would have happened was, you see we're pushing up on decent volume there. We get above the moving averages. We have a consolidation on lesser volume, which signals I could go long, and then we pushed up for here. So I mean, that it doesn't look that sexy, but that would have been about 30 cents with a very obvious stop out of if VWAP doesn't hold. You know, so that would have been a nice profitable trade, but again, I'd already decided I was done for the day at that point. So anyway, frustrating day for me. Got chopped up, and I'm sure there were opportunities out there, but you gotta watch the right stocks. You gotta watch the right stocks to have those types of opportunities, and today I wasn't watching the right stocks, and with the market acting the way it was, I made too many bad trades before the market found direction. The market's just now starting to find direction, and if I could have been patient enough to get until now without having already reached my max loss, then maybe I could take advantage of the direction. But I just didn't have the patience, and I thought I was seeing things that ultimately weren't there today.